whether this necessarily gets them out of the woods, because this is the time for CVMAX to cook, right? I imagine that on the red side, these bans are going to look weird. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh no, Atlas.
Yeah.
That's not good cooking. Okay?
I feel like stuff is going to get through. Let's just say that.
Events will transpire. And
yes.
whether or not we'll like them remains to be seen. My main thing is denying Cuz the Nidalee. We saw another example, and I think those jungle votes were very warranted.
Oh, yeah.
Because despite the fact that he was substantially foiled in the early game, still found a decent lead, it didn't matter, right? Like, he got to the mid to late game still with an impact, still was able to show his presence in the team fights. And man, this Yone priority by T1 going to be maintained. And I do think it's a really strong pick right now. And I like this more than picking it. I think that T1 are clearly have a specific read, but Faker on Yone just hasn't had the impact that he needs to for this pick to work. So they're going to ban it instead. Is it going to be Nidalee B1 here? Aurora is open.
No, now they get Aurora Nidalee on red side.
Aurora Nidalee again.
Huh. But you do have to give up Rumble, and Rumble is extraordinarily powerful. But this is what happens, and this is what I was saying. They actually just banned the same champions that they did on blue side and said, yeah, that's fine. You just have whatever's left, and we'll pick all the other cool stuff. And I think that they may as well. And Aurora is a possibility for the top side as well, guys, obviously. But it's likely that that's going to go once again into the hands of Bulldog. They really maximize the amount of time to have a discussion.
Even in the game that Bulldog got a substantial deficit in laning phase, he still carried in team fights. I think this guy right now is looking like just straight up our best Aurora, and giving it to him again when the pick is so clearly, so insanely valuable is a gigantic gambit. And as we have repeated many a time, T1, if they end up losing here, not going to be eliminated or anything crazy like that, but it is going to make their life harder. And if they lose here against Guangdong, then that series against BNK, it gets even more pressure added on top of it. And there are a lot of other factors, but
yeah,
Cuz has got a Nidalee again, Atlas.
Yeah, he's 9-0 currently on the Nidalee. We were talking a lot about the Rakan that was also very, very good for Andal, and the Tristana for Bulldog. Those, like, the Tristana was banned. That is certainly good news.
Okay.
The Vi is going to get through. That will be the answer to Cuz this time around. I think gives them a bit more firepower and also holds people on equalizers, which is going to feel fantastic.
Or like Vi Ari, Vi LeBlanc.
Yeah, I feel like either of those options don't sound too bad to me. Or they could just lock down a high priority AD carry, like a Kai'Sa fits into this composition very well.
I would love an Ezreal personally, just for being playable into Aurora. Not going to be the case. It's going to be the Azir. Not going to make me super excited when it comes to pure pick power, but obviously peak comfort for Faker. Azir buffs are going to hit on the next patch.
That's a Lucian.
We don't really know. There is, of course, the opportunity here for the Aurora to go towards Dudu. We have seen that played in that matchup, but it looks like Dusante making an appearance again. And what this does, compared to the Renekton we saw in the previous game, is that it frees up Cuz to go to other lanes. Last time around, that wasn't the case. You basically want to play towards the top side, want to play towards the Renekton. We saw that predictability get punished as well. Does mean you're going to take a colossal beating. Even our best Cassantes, Keen and Dudu, have taken like really, really rough laning phases when they get picked into the Rumble, and the Ezreal ban to come out here. I do think that Guangdong would have probably picked it up on R4 here, so I think it makes sense. But again, what is going to be the answer? And you just so badly want something with a blink, just so that the Aurora doesn't completely invalidate your AD carry. Might be Xayah, which I know how all of us feel about that one.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too psyched about the Xayah option. I imagine that it could certainly be a possibility. Gumayusi Keria, they have really liked it. I wouldn't mind the Kai'Sa just in the composition, but maybe not as much with the Azir.
Yeah.
Let's just see what Leaper is going to take away. It looks like it might just be MF for him. And that is going to deny what Gumayusi played in the last game. He doesn't have to worry about being put in a circle. And he can actually layer a cone on top of it. That's going to feel pretty good. Guma just thinks maybe I just stand really, really far away.
That works.
Yeah?
Like, that's honestly not too bad of a solution. So you can either try to go mega aggressive, right? Try to go and dive together with the Vi, or you can take the up.
Whoa!
So what? That's
Varus.
We have not seen a Varus in a good amount of time, everyone. That champion has not been at the forefront of the meta. He's also receiving some pretty... I think it's on the next patch that he receives buff. Might have been on this one, because they basically did like a kind of a mini rework.
Yeah, the little mini rework did happen on this patch, where they just changed around where a bunch of his numbers went. I don't exactly know where that kind of left the Varus, because we just haven't seen it, guys. Andal is thinking about the horse pants, and of course we do know that Bullet Time and the Magnet Storm are very powerful. It is exactly what Gumayusi Keria played in the last game. And Kwangdong Freaks, pretty well-rounded draft here, I have to say. But T1, this time around with a lot more power picks under their belt. I also really like Equalizer and the Chains of Corruption because you can really lock someone down. And with the fact that they have a Vi for guaranteed lockdown and a Nautilus for guaranteed lockdown, beginning these wombo combos is not going to look nearly as hard as it did in the first game. And that was something that the space brought up as well.
I do agree with that, but I also think that a lot of that CC, Keria notwithstanding, unless Faker gets a big sweep, is going to be mostly single target. And I find it hard to see how the damage dealers on tier 1 are going to live when Aurora puts them in the basket with MF standing outside, throwing an ult on top of everyone.
Throwing apples in the basket?
Oh yeah.
As it were? Yeah, could certainly be a very, very dangerous situation here as we're looking for some Teemo. Yeah, the entire Teemo. But we're not, I don't think we're going to get it. And just remember, guys, the T1 skins are releasing today. The world skins are going to be coming out. And so that is extraordinarily exciting. None of them being represented in this particular game.
Yeah, between that and the emotes.
Yeah.
You know, the Bulldog Bite it, the T1 GOAT. It's a good day. If
it is definitely a good day.
Being creative.
Precisely. Time for us now, though, to get onto the Rift for game number 2. See whether T1 can shore things up, utilize the blue side effectively, and bring us to the final game of the series. Let's do it. Let's hop onto the Rift right now. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'd like to take you on a journey, because what we were going to say is we were getting ready to celebrate T1 qualifying for the playoffs. With a victory here in this series, that is precisely what would happen. However, we are now heading down a darker timeline. So, in order for T1 to not make playoffs, a certain amount of things has to happen. A, they have to lose this next game.
Okay.
That will keep them on 9 match wins.
Yes, and with
they will move up to 8 losses.
1 game score.
Indeed. We then require Humble Life Esports to lose to BNK.
Okay, that one's a bit of a stretch, but
we might need to talk to Peanut about Shyvana and things like this.
Nerfed Shyvana?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing that has to happen is KT needs to beat DK in our Saturday Showdown this week. So
that's a 50-50. We know that one.
That is a 50-50. BNK then needs to also beat T1. So T1 needs to go 0-2.
Yeah, have their fate in their own control, even if they end up losing here. And
yeah.
Okay.
So, and basically everything bad has to happen for T1 not to make playoffs. They are almost just there.
And then on the flip side for Kwangdong, just to put it in perspective for everyone, if they get a 2-0 here, realistically, if Humble Life beat BNK and T1 beat BNK, all they need to do is win against DRX.
Yep, they don't even need T1 to beat BNK in that instance.
Yeah, because if they beat DRX, then they will still end up pulling out, because the Kwangdong game score is actually pretty good, which is why the previous game matters so much. Also, I took another closer look. So the mini rework where they kind of tried to tune down the fact that he was, just meta for 2 years as either an AD carry or as a lethality carry or as a top laner. Very safe, or oh god, don't remind me of that. or a good on-hit champion. So that was on this patch, or a previous patch. He got changed as...
Leaper taking a lot of damage here as Gumayusi getting a little bit aggressive.
Do you want to note, Leaper actually going for the
nailed
cleanse
it.
here.
The double up though, did you see that? That was pretty sick. Yeah, the cleanse is an odd one, but he did actually just utilize it.
Oh, it was actually really... So getting the cleanse into the ignite obviously feels great. You can also use it for the root on Guma's ultimate specifically. It's just because there's also Vi, and there is the Nautilus ult, and, which obviously are uncleansable. But so Varus did get buffed on this patch. Also, Witsand got a pretty decent buff, so I'm like, is Guma just cooking, and are we going to see like a crazy... like high MR build, so he can just stand and take all the hits that Bulldog and Cuz are going to throw at him.
Like the Terminus Wit's End that we saw Deft pull out in our first series, it could be a thing.
Oh, Oner looking for an early dive here.
Yeah, Leaper is somewhat in danger. Gumayusi also in a fair bit of danger, but it might be that they're just not going to do it. May as well sort of test the waters here as Andal just scoping on out, seeing what's going on. Doesn't really spot too much there as Keria pulls the wave for a moment. We'll now just go for that reset. Leaper already back in base, going to be able to buy a cull and a refillable and head himself back towards the bottom lane. So not looking to win lane at any point here. That's Bulldog's job, apparently. He is finding a fair bit of harassment here onto Faker in the early game. As Dudu, I mean, this is what happens in this matchup. You just get cooked. You just get barbecued. And that's how it goes. It's not fun times for the K'Sante in the laning phase. You just convince yourself that you're going to be way more useful late game.
Which isn't even necessarily true because it's Rumble, but that is what you do, yeah.
Yep.
We do have Dudu with the, you know, mega sustained setup, has his cookies, has a, Leaper, he doesn't know, does have flash.
Well, let's see. Andal very far away from this one as Make It Rain does connect. They get the flash out, but there's the crash down. That's going to get the flash as well out of Gumayusi, so an even trade there. Squandong Freaks retain, you know, some control on this wave. There is, I feel like First Blood is going to happen so soon.
Yeah, so you can see as well, both junglers paying a lot of attention towards this bot side, because it does feel like whichever AD carry gets ahead, because this is engaged versus engaged, you can just bash your heads into each other, and whoever has an item lead is going to be feeling really good about that extended all-in.
Dudu has already teleported back. That's why this this health trade is looking a bit aggressive here from players.
He's got a rejuve bead.
Yeah, there we go. Equalizer is going to go down, and now he's going to really need that rejuve bead.
He still got 2 cookies. He's fine.
True. And now it is going to be a little bit of respite as Oner.
Wait, Cuz?
Going to get spotted here. Cuz, oh god. We've seen this timeline before as Cuz gets in. He's not able to steal it away, but Oner is now in trouble. Keria inside the pit. Gumayusi trying to get rid of Leaper here. The spear is going to miss. Bulldog comes down, puts them in a circle, and that is going to be 2 swift kills. Faker going to go down as well, though, and the Aurora is on the board.
And that's kills going to Leaper and Bulldog, Atlas.
Oh god.
That's gonna feel amazing for Kwangdong. This time around, Oner denies the steal, gets it, but it's just not enough. Really cute interaction there, by the way, where Faker like swoops Aurora to the other end of the pit. Look. So this time around, just a little bit too late is because Keria does a good job of keeping him out of the pit until it's too late. Oner, though, takes so much damage, so he has to flash, and then Guma just gets flashed on, ends up going down immediately, and the ultimate from Bulldog keeps Faker around the rest of the team for long enough, so that's going to be a bunch of flashes gone, whereas Bulldog still has his, Andil still has his, and yes, the dragon went over, but unlike the previous game, I don't really feel like there is a very, like, pressing need for Kwangdong to snowball early and get to that soul point very quickly.
I would agree. I think that this composition is looking a little bit cleaner as far as how it's going to navigate the later stages. Sort of one of those things where you don't see a Renekton and you're like, late game good, is kind of how my mind works. And we're going to be cantering over, or is that more of a trot? Looks like more, that's a canter, there we go. That's going to be Keria connecting to the wall. There's bullet time, and is he just dead? He is. Cuz going to come on over, pounces on down. Now looking for Gumayusi. Spear not going to connect, but they've got a huge minion wave. Guma has to get out of here. He's going to miss all of that CS. Oh no, is he going to miss his life? No, he's not.
will, fortunately for him, hold on to that. But Kwangdong, that's what we said. The moment you start falling behind in this bot lane, continued attention towards it. Keria doesn't have flash. That's an easy punish, and the goal goes down to that previous fight at the Drake. Don't even need Bulldog to come over, just Cuz alone, following up on the setup from Andil. And I just want to reiterate, Leaper is also sitting on a call.
Yeah.
Like, he is just naturally going to get even further ahead in this lane. Didn't get the kill, but the kill went to Cuz. He's undefeated in Italy.
Yeah, he's looking for 10-0.
And meanwhile, Dudu, this is what if you're playing a top laner that is losing lane, and you know that going into the game, like, this is the dream. You just sit there and you hear, an enemy has been slain. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, he's just wishing he was playing Nasus instead, you know, so he could just sit there and continue.
Man, I wish
just
we saw more Nasus. Oh, boy.
Oh, dear, okay. There's the all-out into the wall. Andil's going to come on over. Doesn't even need to press any buttons yet, as the equalizer goes down and doesn't do too much. And Gumayusi had almost gotten here.
Wait.
Oh, does have Chains of Corruption, and Dudu might actually stick around. Oh, there it is. He's going to charge this one up as Dudu, he gets the shield, he flashes. Is the Ignite going to be enough? Cuz it's going to turn up in the Primal Surge. Oh, Andil's also going to survive this one as crashes to get the shield. Kwangdong Freaks can do no wrong this game. What is going on?
Oh, Atlas, that is a tilter right there.
Oh, they're still looking for more, though. Not out of the woods just yet, as there is Oner making his way in with that Vault Breaker. Cease and Desist is going to connect it. Andil goes down, and T1 not standing for these shenanigans.
All right, tilt averted. Everything's okay again.
Oh, yeah, it's all fine.
That was a little dicey there for a second.
Oh, Faker's in the circle. Bulldog doesn't find the Q, does manage to get some of the other abilities, but the Q's the most important one.
Man. If he gets the Q with the execute, that would have been the end of Faker. Not going to be the case here. Faker also holding onto his ultimate. Yeah, no. The fact that they actually were able to convert on that, pretty big, Atlas. Because if that topside play is just a complete disaster, that might have just been it for T1, at least in this series, as it would have meant that, and even further out, as we're taking a look at this, crucial here,
we're back a long way.
Yeah, this is a long way. Like, Keria doesn't have flash, so going in the first place there is a big risk. Cuz finds a wonderful punish, and then here, Zeus doesn't have the damage to actually turn this around by himself, as Dudu immediately leaves the equalizer. And then this is where the T1 secret plan comes into place. Look at that.
Oh.
The shield, and then Cuz comes in with the heal, even through the Ignite, that is just barely enough. And then fortunately, Oner ends up showing up. Really big as well, if you look at the mid-wave, is that Faker just pushes in a giant wave. So if that's not the case and Aurora can roam up, there might be an opportunity for a turnaround. That's not the case. Libra can't join this. So good on T1 to further push and make sure that they actually get something towards the top side now. A kill for Guma, kill for Oner. And they're still behind in gold, but without it, I think the game would not have been technically over, but would have been in a really rough spot. They still are going to have to find a way to deal with Bulldog, though, because he is, again, getting plates, Malignant is ready, and that early kill has really accelerated him.
Yep, Oner looking to try and pay Dudu a visit, and then possibly head over for some grubs, as Keria is turning up as well. That is going to be the CC layering. Dudu is very tanky, though, as Oner gets himself out from underneath the turret. Keria not going to get pulled back by that Q3, and Dudu is still here. Still thriving, feeling all right. Does have his Spectre's Cowl, so he's going to have a bit of that health back as well. As Zeus down towards his bottom side, just clearing out some minions. Cuz wants to be able to deny the 6 stack of the grubs, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to risk it.
So the big thing here is that Dudu has to TP bot to catch this wave, otherwise Zeus is just going to get free plates. But Zeus still has TP, so now there's the threat. If Kwangdong overinvest into a attempt to deny these grubs, they might get punished. You see Zeus as well, look at his positioning. And the moment they get them, they're like, okay, they're not going to engage, everything's fine. I think Zeus definitely making the right call there, because as long as Dudu doesn't see him, doesn't know where he is, should be able to get the TP off, as another trap is being set here, and Leaper and Nando are having absolutely none of it.
Yeah.
Unless...
Well, we'll see whether they can actually clear something out. As Leaper and Nando are going to move up. That's Keria going in, finds the knock-up onto Leaper. Cease and desist comes in as well. It's decent layering as the bullet time comes through as well. But Gumayusi's going to survive it. Cuz throws a spear to Narnia, and he's not going to be able to pick up anything. That is just the bottom lane dead.
Oh, Oner with a beautiful read there at the ready was setting up a trap of themselves, and not only do Leaper and Ondil walk in, but with Cuz they feel a lot more confident. Heavy investment. It works out amazingly. Guma, that is going to be one juicy back.
Oh yeah.
Topside turret, 2 more kills into him. And T1 now with a gold lead. Not enough by itself, but as long as Guma has flash, should be able to do a decent job of staying alive in these team fights. Blade of Rune King now going to be done. And we'll see what ends up. I imagine it's just going to be like Blade, Ginsu's, like the old kind of on-hit build, and then what, Witsend Terminus, or Terminus Witsend. I don't mind an early Witsend in this specific game. We'll see what he ends up going. It is a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'd really like to see sort of the double defensive choices. As we have a look at this one more time, Keria just immediately, as soon as he sees Leaper, he's like, I have an anchor for you.
It's actually really nicely done there by Oner. So what he does is he goes in with the Q onto Ondil, and then while Keria is setting up the damage onto Leaper, Oner then uses his ultimate to also knock Ondil away. So Ondil can't actually go for the re-engage and deny all that damage until it's already too late. As Zeus, I think are dead.
He might be in trouble unless he does some pretty extraordinarily cool alcove things, as he's going to try and use the equalize, but unfortunately he is in a circle and he is not getting out. Did do a lot of damage there to Cuz, but he has the ability to heal himself back up, as Oner is going to return the favor by taking down Shelly on the top side of the map.
How does Rel get that kill?
Well, you see,
Ondil didn't ignite, like, it's Rel of all the champions.
Hooves.
The power of hooves.
Yep, just trampled, you know, as Leaper is going to stand his ground and will be able to destroy that minion wave. Faker getting to work here on this bottom side, just clearing out those minions that are heading forward. Remember, 6 grubs are there, so if ever T1 has some spare time in a side lane, these turrets will evaporate. And gold, 1,000 in it. Not really a whole lot, and it's a mountain soul this game as well. I have a feeling T1 probably pretty happy about that. Really creates a lot of corridors on the map and allows you to find some pretty nice equalizer positions if you can push your opposition into them. Still, I guess Misfortune probably likes that as well. You can create a lot of artificial terrain with Bulldog's ultimate as well. That can certainly work out.
This is going to be a really important dragon fight here, because the gold, it's a slight lead for T1, but I don't think it means that much in the grand scheme of things. Like, looking at the item finishes, no one is particularly far ahead. Obviously, Guma is accelerated, but if you look at what Leaper has, still a lot of combat power there between the BF sword and I think the finished Cole being a really big factor in that, as well as the BT. So now it's going to come down to who finds the better setup around this dragon. And crucially, like, Guma's flash to me is the biggest thing here. The fact that he's able to flash out of an engage of a Bulldog is absolutely huge. Keria thus far has been on point with these engages. We'll have to see how Kwangdong pilot this, because Leaper doesn't have his flash. Not up yet. Cleanse, as mentioned, help a little bit, but I don't think that alone is going to be enough.
Well, only
on the ward.
Yeah, waiting. Not actually starting up this dragon just yet. And on vision, Kwangdong Freaks don't really need to worry about it, as they're going to go in. Circle does go down. Bulldog immediately turned on and exploded. Andal finds a decent Magnet Storm, but they're still not able to find any kills at all. T1 will wipe them out in this fight. And Dudu is just trying to flash for his life. There is an outer turret here, but Cuz and Leaper are out of this one, and T1 can go for a dragon if they'd like one.
That is going to be the dragon, and I think T1 might be looking for a dive as well. Faker's pushing the wave.
Yep, Dudu is going to turn up, trying to push them back in here. There's the all-out onto Zeus, and Harpoon, with the help of Piercing Arrow, is going to be able to take him down. Faker is finally going to turn up, find some Sand Soldiers to deal with this misfortune, and Cuz he knows that he's dead, he's going to see whether he can take Zeus with him. The answer is no, but at least he gets a flash. But T1, they'll also get a turret and the first Mountain Drake of the game.
And it looks like Kwangdong get the jump onto T1, but that's not what happens here, Atlas. They're more than ready. Look at this, the flash from Oner there is the crucial thing. If they can kill the Vi, that alone might be enough. That and the wall from Faker. to get the initial CC down, deny Bulldog the ability to get out, even if he's taken a big chunk of damage. And I gotta say, if they kill Oner there, like also the ability to then immediately just keep the Aurora in place could have been taken away. And then obviously this is
fish in a barrel.
This is it's apple picking.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. Well, I mean, you can either really.
I guess they're either trapped in a. I guess they can move around in the barrel, and Quandong Creek's players were moving around underneath their turret, so.
Sure, whichever metaphor you prefer.
Yeah,
I'm fine with either. Really big win there for T1. Now building up a 4.5 or almost 4.5k gold lead. We also have the Mountain Drake going to them as Zeus.
He is going to get crashed into. Nice spear is going to connect there from Cuz, who does make his way down. Gumayusi is also dead because Bulldog has the ability to put him in a circle, and immediately Quandong Creek's going to fire back against T1. They might even be able to get some good damage on this outer turret.
Yeah, I'm like, go to Nash. There's no Nash. We're 80 minutes in the game. This is an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah.
And just, I think like us with our conversation about apples, felt like there was a moment of respite in this. There is no respite. There was only the fight. There was only blood.
Only kills.
There will be blood, Atlas. On Summoner's Rift, as Andil Ice Cold just goes for the Hex Flash.
Yeah.
And that is a very big set of kills, because that means that Guma, his bounty gets picked up. Zeus didn't have a bounty because he's been doing a good amount of dying. But it means that the gold lead immediately brought back to about 2k as we take another look here. It's very straightforward. Zeus just gets engaged on, and then Guma just gets Aurora. Unfortunately, I think makes the right call not to flash. Actually really like that, because there is no Baron. If there's a Baron, I think you need to flash that and hope that the team can bail you out. But keeping your flash, absolutely pivotal. Looks like he will be going for that Wit's End next. Mid lane turret's still going to fall, so that alone not enough to bring Quandong fully back into the game, but it does show. Can't underestimate this team out there. They're still looking.
Yeah, you definitely can't. 3 turrets now picked up for T1. It's a large reason why they still have that 3,000 gold lead, or 2.5k, something like that. Still not the end of the world for Quandong Freaks, so T1 going to need to do a little bit more. Try and get this one in the bag, or in the barrel, or on the tree, or wherever you want to put your apples, which I think is the theme of this game. Baron has now just spawned.
There's so many different types.
There are. There's
so
a lot of variety.
Applications. It's just wonderful.
What is your favorite version of an apple-based dish?
Probably just Dutch apple pie.
Really? You're an apple pie fan? I like apple crumble, but I guess it's kind of just apple pie.
So in Dutch, you have something called, which it just translates to like butter cake, which is just, it's like 70% butter. It's delicious. And
oh, heck yeah.
My mom made a version of that with apples on top, like slightly tart.
Ooh.
So it's just, it's great. It's basically
incredible.
Just a crumble with a different texture and more butter.
It's a slightly tart?
It is a slightly tart.
Oh, that's amazing.
Tartatan is also banger, by the way. As Guma has somehow ended up with the most gold in this game, which is pretty remarkable.
I mean, he does have 5 kills.
Helps a lot. So coming into the next fight, there is a possibility for T1 to just do an Ashe. And I know that this is a meme, but I want to draw everyone's attention to the champions that they have. So they have percentage health damage on Vi, they have Leandris on Rumble, they have Azir with Nashers, and then they have on-hit Varus. So
that's a fair bit of DPS.
Yeah, no, that Baron is going to go down. It's actually one of the bigger advantages I think they do have over the Kwangdong comp. Kwangdong need a good amount of time. Their Baron damage isn't really something that at this point in the game I think is going to be that big a threat, and neither team is sitting at soul point, or in case of Kwangdong, they're not even close to it. So you see as well with the wards already being set up towards the top side of the map, I wouldn't be surprised if T1 just pulled the trigger with just the 2 of them, right? Even just Oner and Faker, go for this objective in a very short amount of time.
Well, Quandong Freaks wanting to set up around this Drake, 20 seconds until the next mountain is on the table. They do know that there is a Rumble on the bottom side, so he's not going to be helping with any sort of Baron or anything like that.
Oh, look at the sums as well.
Yeah.
Basically everything's going to be up here. Again, Guma's flash to me, probably the most important summoner, but Leaper having his available. We saw in the previous fight, tried to ult, immediate equalizer on top of him.
Well, that is going to be some vision taken out here. Shattering Strike going to be avoided with that Vault Breaker as T1 gets some Banana Brush control. Spear almost connecting onto one of the wings of the dragon here as Bulldog.
He needs to make his way over. I don't know if he's going to be in time. I think this dragon is gone. It's more about can they find the fight.
Yeah, they do manage to get on top of Bulldog, who just puts a circle in the wrong direction. Equalizer also just sitting in the middle of nowhere as the Drake is still getting amongst it. But that is just going to be the kill onto Andal. It was in no man's land, unable to do anything. Still somehow Quandong Freaks are the ones with control of this. Drake and Cuz is over the wall, so he's not going to be able to get a smite in there. It is going to be the dragon secured here by T1, but can Quandong Freaks keep themselves alive in the fight? As Spear connects on Gumayusi, but there is no follow-up. And Quandong just couldn't really decide what to do. They will be able to find that little hit onto Oner, who goes down exceptionally low. Same can be said for Bulldog as Gumayusi gets in there. He is going to sacrifice himself as Empress Divide will take down Dudu, and Oner is still alive. That's an ace, because Andal was already dead from before.
And T1, colossal win, get the Mountain Drake, set up Soul Point, and then win the fight. Crucial there, and love this from Oner. So what happens is he goes in, smites the spell shield up, and Bulldog is forced to use his ult defensively. So he uses the dash to get over the wall so that he doesn't die, which I think is the right call. But it also makes this Andal engage very questionable. I understand if you have like Leaper basically pre-firing, that can work, but you can't have that play and not be coordinated. And then from that point on, Zeus is just roasting them on the other end of the fight. Baron in the picture-in-picture has been taken, and it's yet another apple orchard for the taking here for T1. They just have to play this slow, and you see there's no problem. Ward comes down, TP comes in. Even with a kill on Guma going over, everyone on T1 got what they wanted. Baron has been taken, and I think Atlas, in this final week of playoffs, we are going on day one to a game number 3.
Yep.
Final week of layup to playoffs.
Yep. It's also going to be possibly the first loss for Cuz's Nidalee so far this season, which is a kind of crazy thing to think about because, of course, Quandong Freaks are sitting at a very even game score. So there's been quite a few losses in that column, just none of them have been the kitty cat lady. So only going to make it to 9 in a row, not quite going to get it to 10 as Dudu, he's going to clear out this top wave. But this is a 7,000 gold lead for T1. They have Soul Point up and available. They have Baron still for another 2 minutes time. Yeah, they've just got to cleanly move towards the enemy base and take them down.
Want to draw attention as well to how hard it is to actually turn onto someone of T1. So we have Stopwatch for Zeus. We have the Banshees as Guma.
Bulldog is going to put Bulldog into a circle and just take him down. Empress Divide is going to come on through, but Faker is also dead. That is Leaper falling as well, though, and you cannot cross the veil when there is an anchor coming from Keria still. Spear's not going to connect. Andal not tanky enough. And T1 just have enough firepower with the members that they had left. That's Equalizer to help them take down Bulldog, and Oner is just a carry in his own right. He's 6-0-4 on this buy, and so I guess they don't need their damage dealers, I'm doing air quotes right now, because they've got Oner. They've got this Rumble as well, who does so much work, and Keria can keep them in place. That is one heck of a way to reach 1,000 kills, as Oner is just going to come in and take the team fight into his own hands.
I really thought that I was going to talk about all the defensive itemization on T1, that I had put a powerful curse on as immediately both Faker and Guma die. Fortunately, Oner has my back and ensures that that alone is not enough to end this one. Again, the power of stealth coming in huge, but Faker crucially buys so much time here with this setup, and without Leaper gone, there just isn't enough damage. I also feel like Guangdong knew, like, we probably shouldn't try to fight this without Leaper, but they still kind of index into it just a little bit, right? They hold up, you see some hesitation, and then there's that combo we were talking about earlier. The Equalizer, the long distance support for Oner is ultimate, ends up being huge, and those kills, I don't think they're going to amount to too much, and I want to draw attention to the Flash Charmer of Guma. That's going to be up. And really, outside of Zeus, who will just press Sonya's if you and you know, put the fire underneath you if you try to get anything done, it's most likely that T1 is going to be able to pick up the Mountain Soul here.
Yeah, Spear is going to break the shield on Faker. He's standing on a ward. Doesn't really matter. They're going to be able to take this inner turret. And the rotations should be pretty comfortable if they'd like to just make sure that mid wave is shoved in, get the Kwangdong Freaks as far away from this Drake pit as possible, get themselves a Mountain Soul, and then that would be absurd. That is going to be the Chains of Corruption absorbed, and now Bulldog's going to do it again. He bounces to the other side, and then Gumayusi's going to get out of there. Does use both of his summoners though, as now Dudu thinks he may have found an opportunity as Oner. He goes in, they're going to turn the fight on its head, but Oner's the first one to go down. There is the T1 follow-up, as Zeus, the walking barbecue, is going to be able to clear them all out. And so Oner's dead, but then he's got the rest of his mates to take care of it.
Gumayusi also staying alive in that one, making great use of his flash, and we are going to a game number 3 here, Atlas.
Yeah, we definitely are. That is going to be the first Nexus turret going down. Keria is going to also bring Nautilus out of his losing streak. The man was definitely underwater when it comes to being able to win, and is finally going to pop his way out on the shores of Bilgewater today and bring T1 to game.